go into our Wolfpack soccer check-in. So this is where we're going to talk all things football, from Tim's ongoing Wolf fandom journey to the Premier League drama, and right now to just World Cup talk. We'll be diving into the big storylines, games, contenders, dark horses, and anything exciting with this tournament. And even after this tournament, just with what's going on in all these leagues across the world. So whether your club or team is flying high, fighting for survival, or making questionable decisions, we've got plenty to talk about. So grab your drink, join the pack, and we'll get into some football talk. And first off, congrats, Spain. Big win.
You did it.
Called it.
You did
Called it from even before the World Cup started. Called Spain winning it. I called Michigan winning the final. Or March Madness.
Oh, yeah.
Not the Final Four. They won all that stuff. March Madness. I'll give you my NFL take closer to the NFL season.
Perfect.
I'm trying to go 3 for 3.
Lotto numbers as well, or
I'll put half of them. I'll give you guys 3.
Excellent.
Give you guys 3 of those lottery numbers. But yeah, we'll talk the final first. Spain 1-0 win over Argentina after extra time. Spain's second World Cup, so we'll get a second star. I was trying to find a star at work and here at home, but I didn't have one, so I was just going to put a fake one here.
Very nice.
But great win. You tell me, Tim, because I know Rob is a big soccer guy. Spain just dominated Argentina, and I could only imagine how happy Rob was that Argentina lost.
Oh, yeah. No, and I was joining him, kind of hyping him up regarding a lot of that banter, too. And it was utter dominance. And we saw it from right out the gates. I think at one point we got up to, 21 shots, 14 shots on goal, and 0 for Argentina. It was all Spain. And just time of possession, the passes that they had, the amount of time that they're keeping it on the attacking half, pressuring Argentina. Messi was non-existent. Barely got some moments there at the end of the match, and kind of felt like one of those matches where you don't want Spain to kind of let off the gas and pull in England and get very worried about a last second crosser from Messi and somebody headering it in, and we almost saw that on one occasion. Outside of that, just Spain, just complete and utter control. Substitutions, I think Rob was a little bit worried about at moments. Armando, our good buddy, brought up the Williams was kind of killing a little bit of the momentum, but then I think that quickly shot him in the foot off of how great of a header assist that was. Yeah, phenomenal. So, yes, complete and utter dominance by Spain. Scoreboard didn't do it justice. Should have been 2-0 if you ask me, though.
Yeah, it should have been like 5-0 regular time, the way it was going. Spain, utter dominance. Didn't let their foot off the gas pedal at all during this game, and Argentina just didn't have answers. I think Argentina shot themselves in the foot a little bit too, and some of it wasn't even because of Messi. Some of it's just bad luck. Like I said, Lisandro Martinez, having to get subbed off, first half. Honestly, he's been one of their better defenders. So. And once you have to make those type of subs due to injury, it sort of takes out that momentum in the rotation you had planned, because the one person that they didn't play at all, that I am still surprised that they didn't find a way to get him in, Lautaro Martinez, the guy that made the equalizer in the game in their last game against Switzerland, or to win it. They didn't even play him at all. He isn't a starter. He comes in second half, but it's like they didn't bring him in. It's because some of the substitutions they had to do due to the formation. And then very dumb yellow cards. I think I don't know if in the group message someone mentioned it, but they played like Paraguay against France.
Yes,
just out there being bullies, not really trying to play the game, trying to hurt players. It looked like at times. Enzo Fernandez, I've always been a fan of him. He's a Chelsea guy. I'm a Chelsea guy. I was hoping the best for him, but his first yellow card, he shouldn't have complained. And then that second one, that was an obvious foul that deserved a yellow card. And because of his dumb mistake earlier in the game, he
Mhm.
got the red. And, I know he's probably taking a lot of heat from fans, from people, because I think that changed the momentum in the game.
Yeah, no, it absolutely did. And the tackle that he had, flipping the Spaniard was unreal. It was a
Yeah.
crazy foul. And then to complain, and then of course Messi's complaining about the hand over the mouth, and it's just kind of a non-existent thing, but just really looking for anything in the moment to
Mm-hmm.
kind of try to equalize things, and it didn't work out for them. And um, I feel like that they finally met their match with this referee. He called it
Mm-hmm.
very fair, and they were playing. In quite frankly, he could have called a whole lot more. And one
Yeah.
individual I'll bring up is Paredes. Dude was out of his mind,
Yeah.
and he genuinely pissed me off. Sometimes I just kind of like I said this comment to, and I get this from the movie Step Brothers. It's just he had one of those attitudes on his face. I was like, man, if you don't do something about your face, I'm going to do something for you. And I just wanted I just wanted to
Oh,
just let him know what's up, because
man.
he just looked pissed the entire time. And it just looked like he was just out there just to start fights. And that was clearly what he did. And as soon as he got subbed in, or I think he got subbed in, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he gets subbed in, because Rob and I were laughing, it's like, dude just got in. He's already pushing a player on top of another Spaniard player that was down on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you
Yeah.
even involved in that? Just back away, and you're already furious. And then he gets a yellow card easily
Yeah.
for that. Honestly, should have had the red card later on as
Mm-hmm.
well, the way he was playing. Didn't get it, and he was lucky. I think it was a header, and he ran up behind the guy and shoulder or
Mm-hmm.
elbow checked him. And then to see, which is getting the most attention, is the fight that he had after the match,
Yeah.
and how ugly that was. They look like really sore losers, Argentina altogether, and it's a bummer because it doesn't stand for everybody,
Yeah.
in all the players. But the actions of what Paredes did, and I know that FIFA is investigating the whole situation now, and he might be banned from the next FIFA World Cup. Supposedly, is what they're looking into, and I think it's kind of justified at this point if you were to ban him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was just nasty
Yeah.
and throwing players to the ground, um, as a result of his fellow teammate pushing somebody who was just celebrating, not really even having an interaction. He was just running by him, and then he
Mm-hmm.
hits him.
Mm.
So unnecessary. But again, Paredes, that just didn't come out of nowhere. The whole match,
Oh,
he was just looking to start some shit.
yeah. Yeah.
So
From the get go, once he came in, getting that yellow card so quickly, I was like, dude, you are not doing yourself a favor, not doing this team a favor. It was bad. He should have been red carded after. And to react that way, I know emotions are running high. One little comment any player says running by probably could get you frustrated and trigger you, but still, it's like, why, dude? Like, it's not gonna help you. And like I say, where we should be discussing Messi, discussing his final game, looking at him crying and just so sad about how he could have had like his glory of winning back to back World Cups. It's more Paredes and all that stuff going on. We're not really talking about Messi. Look at us. We haven't really even talked about Messi at all
no,
yet. And that's everyone. So it's a little mistaken. It's always so funny because it's the one thing I will say. I'm not the biggest fan about Argentina players at times. When it happens to them, they complain so much, but when they do it, they're always okay with it. Against England, when they scored, I don't know if it was the first or second goal. It's and people might get a little mad on how I'm going to say this because I forget the player's name, but the curly red-headed dude in Argentina that got
Mm.
smacked by Jude
Oh,
Bellingham.
yes. Okay.
Um, if you look at during one of the goals when celebrating, this guy goes into the middle of the field, being on the bench, and I don't even think he ever played a minute in this tournament, and
Yep.
was like running in front of England players celebrating. And
Yep.
in my head, I was like, "What the hell are you doing, dude? Like, there's no need for that. Like, they're already disappointed with what's going on. Why are you doing that? And why are you doing it as a bench player? You're not even a star player. You know, there is a lot of potential that he could be a star player in the future, but I was like, why Jude Bellingham did it? I don't see a problem with it. I was like, you deserved it because you were just arrogant and you guys feel so privileged just because you guys are winning, and then when you guys are losing, you guys are the biggest. They've been the biggest crybabies when they've lost big games like this, and it's a bad look for Argentina. And like you say, I don't think Messi's that way. I think with Messi, the cucurella, the little mouth where you put it like three fingers like that, it's like everybody's always going to try to get an advantage. Messi needed an advantage. They were going down one player. If he could have found a way to get someone out and make it even, it's what he was trying to do. And good attempt, but it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, it wasn't going to work. And, but they were really clinging on to anything. I think that just kind of showed like how much in a hole they were that entire
Mm-hmm.
match was trying to find any little thing, especially knowing that Enzo was going to be,
Mm-hmm.
thrown out and head into the locker room. I will say for that redheaded kid that didn't get any playing time and is trying to get involved in fights as well. If Spy Kids is ever looking for a recast,
Perfect. That is
perfect role
perfect.
for him set
Yeah.
up. I think he's really ready.
Yeah.
Just
Um,
being that little kid. So, um, again, you're exactly right. Though it's like we're only talking about this. We're not talking about the goat,
mm-hmm.
Messi. With really any of it, and it just goes to show like. I don't know if I'm Messi to an extent, I'm kind of embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's not what his hard work has gone on
Mm-hmm.
to show, and to have his teammates kind of act out like that. It's like, dude, what a shit show, and
Yeah.
he's there, he's crying, he's kind of to himself.
Yeah.
Lamine Yamal walked over, they hugged it out, and
Mm-hmm.
Messi was showing good character and
Mm-hmm.
hugging and stuff, and yeah, it's one of those things that I think it outshined the moment, and
Mm-hmm.
here we are getting, I think, a little bit more of a farewell from an Instagram post by Messi more than anything. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I feel like Cristiano Ronaldo had a bit more of a, you know, an end all
Mm-hmm.
with his match in comparison to Argentina. So,
Yeah.
um, crazy, and a lot of people are calling for Argentina to be banned altogether after this last thing. That won't happen. But I mean, justifiably, do you think there should be a ban for Paredes after his actions?
I I don't I don't think it's gonna matter, honestly. I'll say
Yeah,
I don't think Paredes will be part of the next World Cup no matter what.
that's what
Age
Rob was
wise,
saying.
I think he's already out of it. Isn't really that great of a player. I think they have a lot of young players in their system. One player I wish I would have saw, and I think they should have played a little bit more to help develop, and it's probably the next future. Nico Paz out of
Oh,
Como. That guy should have had more opportunities to play, get that experience. Because I think he might be a little bit more of that future for Argentina moving forward after Messi. Yes, we could talk about Messi passing the torch to Yamal right now as like one of the best players in the world. But how about for Argentina? He didn't pass it to anybody. As of
yeah.
right now, Argentina has no identity once Messi leaves. And like I said, I think Nico Paz, I think he's like 21, young
Oh
kid,
wow.
great player, has helped Como go come out of the bottom of La Liga to now even going into the Champions League with one of these small clubs. Ryan talked a little bit about Como. We mentioned it in that episode
Hmm.
about Como in what in the league. But yeah, it's like I don't. Whatever happens to Paredes, he ain't gonna be at the next World Cup no matter what. So I don't think it really matters. I think he'll get a 5-6 game ban or not be able to play in the next major tournament, which will either be like a Gold Cup or the the one in Europe, in South America, the
Yeah.
Coleman Bell.
Yeah, and in I saw his career is already taking him back home to Argentina. I think he plays for their league there now,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
I think he had a stint with PSG was his most prominent role, and
Mm-hmm.
now he's back there. You can tell he's on the tail end of his career
Yeah.
anyway. So
Yeah.
you're right. I don't think it'll matter much. Maybe some type of fine in the future for
Mm-hmm.
Argentina, but I think most of all the damage is done.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a bad mark on the
Yeah.
squad altogether,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. How it ended for Messi, I think that's what I feel the most for.
Yeah.
I'm a Messi fan. He is, to me, he is the goat. But the way the tournament ended and how some of these Argentinian players played this tournament, a little just too cocky and thinking that they were the shit. Making it seem like their shit don't stink. Um,
Yep.
it was a bad look, and like I say, it was just a bad look for Messi when Messi should have been celebrated. It's the one thing I sort of hate that Messi wasn't celebrated as much in his last World Cup for everything he did, and even for this Argentina team. I honestly didn't think they were going to get out of the quarterfinals. I didn't think they were that great of a team, and I had the feeling once they were in the final against Spain, they weren't going to manage it. And it was true. But Messi did so much to get this team far that he deserves a lot of kudos. And the player of the tournament going to Rodri, I think it should have gone to Messi because I think he did a lot more for his squad than Rodri did for Spain. Rodri did amazing for Spain, but I think Messi made more of a difference for the squad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very rare when one of those trophies goes to a losing team in any sport.
Yeah.
Felt like one of those moments where, yeah, I agree with you. Should have went to Messi. I think like one of the only times it's ever happened, like in the NBA, for example, I think it was Jerry West
Mm-hmm.
winning it for an NBA Finals, and
Mm-hmm.
they Lakers had lost, but he had won the Finals MVP,
Mm-hmm.
which is insane. So again, one of those moments I do feel like Messi should have won it. His tournament altogether was absolutely fabulous. Really put a lot of that World Cup stuff
Mm-hmm.
to shame with between him and Ronaldo, at least for this cup altogether. But he
Mm-hmm.
was phenomenal.
Yeah. No, he's phenomenal. Messi, like I said, what he did, amazing. His career as Argentina, he's going to have statues built for him in Argentina next to Maradona.
Mm-hmm.
Could have had more, but like I said, his squad was just never there. Very dependent on Messi, and Spain had the answer for Messi. They didn't let him do what Messi does, and like I say, if Messi was still young, a lot of teams would have learned from this on what to do in the future. Um, so,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's about all of Messi talk I really want to do. Like I say, I'm gonna try to go see him whenever he comes to play here in LA with Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get to see him live once before he does retire because he will retire soon. Um, but yeah, shout out to Messi. Third place game, England France. You called it. Going to be a goal scoring match. 6-4,
Yeah.
England winning it. Um, I think I mentioned it in the group chat. For me, it was an all star game.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be high scoring, but very eventful when there was nothing on the line and they were just having fun.
Yeah. Exactly. It just felt like there was an update with a goal every 2 seconds of that match, and Bellingham scoring again, and you just had everybody getting involved. It was, like you mentioned, it's an all-star game, arguably, a bit more entertaining than the actual final, and that's kind of what I said in our big group chat regarding it was, those two teams kind of going at it seemed a little bit more interesting to me at that point in time because kind of like you prefaced what with Argentina is really fun team, especially with Messi in those earlier matches and seeing how they'll make it through. Um, but going up against a team like Spain, France, or England, being able to play against them would have been a lot more entertaining. Of course, it would have been England, but would have been a bit more entertaining. Would have made my hot take look even worse than it already has with England because they far outperformed anything I had talked about them, which in the back of my mind, I always kind of had a feeling with them because they're a phenomenal squad. But um, yeah, it's going to be a team that's going to be good for years to come
Mm-hmm.
too. But yeah, fun match overall. Just
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like you said, All Star game esque.
Yeah.
Just goal after goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Like I say, fun game to watch. Watch goals if that's what you cared about. Um, and that's about it. Bellingham coming in, late scoring. Great from him. The one thing I would say, and I think a lot of people are talking about it. Um, these goals counting toward the golden boot, it shouldn't have counted.
Mm-hmm.
Mbappe won the golden boot, but it's like it was a game that didn't matter. That guy shouldn't even have been playing a full 90 minutes. He was there for stat padding. He's the Angel Reese of World Cup. Let's call
Yep. Yeah, no, I completely agree. You shouldn't have done it. It's like kind of like you said, making like the All Star game stats kind of
it. Yeah.
pad your in regular season stats. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially when both goalies weren't even the starters, right? So
Yeah.
that's why there were so many goals as well. And yeah, it just didn't make the sense of the situation. One thing about the final, one last little thing. I thought the halftime show was great, if that's what you want to call it. Halftime show. That was really good. My favorite part of it wasn't necessarily like the performances. They were all very good.
Mhm.
Kind of seemed like they just tried to find an artist for every genre and
Yeah.
whoever likes whatever. But the way it was filmed was really cool.
Yeah.
I think that big fan of Ted Lasso. I love the Ted Lasso cameo and just the way that was filmed leading into Justin Bieber, his performance, which a lot of people were kind of hating on. Of course, he's going to get hate, but I thought it was fine. Thought he did a good
Yeah.
job. But very cool. Very cool how it was filmed and shot.
Yeah.
Didn't always getting like that aerial drone footage. It was
Hmm.
something just right there following
Yeah.
along and did a good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, no, it was okay. I didn't mind it. I think I'm just not used to it for a soccer game. I'm used to it
Sure.
for a Super Bowl. It got Americanized, you could say.
Yeah.
I would say I think the one hate that people have towards Justin Bieber was just the song.
Yeah.
I think people wanted more of that lively song, but I don't know if it was you. Someone mentioned in the chat that we had
I think
a
Chris
lot of
did.
a
Killed
lot
the
of
vibe.
a lot of his songs just he doesn't own them. He can't play him. It's almost
Uh-huh.
what he did at Coachella. The only way to play him is through YouTube and sing along with him. And it's not something you could really do in that type of stadium in this type of environment. So he had to play an original song that he still owns. And there isn't many like Beauty and the Beast. Like that one would have been phenomenal
Mm-hmm.
in that setting. But like I say, I know why he can't play it because he just doesn't own it, and there's no way for it to happen, or you would have to pay a lot to be able to play it. So um, overall was good. I think it's just Americanized. I don't know if we'll
Mm-hmm.
see it again outside of the USA for World Cups, but we'll see. Never,
Yeah.
never say never.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, like I just the vibe was good. And I don't know, just a big halftime show guy. It can make a difference in the vibe.
Good.
But the Bieber not owning his playlist, that's such a crazy concept to me too.
Yeah.
Like this, that I know Taylor Swift went through it, and a lot of artists are. Um, when you sell it, all of your your tracks or the corporation owns it's crazy how that works. Like you created it, but you still can't play.
Yeah. It's insane how we do things in America. I
Yep.
think it's mostly you only see it in America, so crazy. But yeah, that's about those takes there. I think some of the big hot takes to talk about, on my post, I sort of gave my hot takes of like the tournament, some of the things I saw. But a big one for me, USA and Mexico, the World Cup. I'm calling it a fail for both nations because they weren't able to get out of the round of 16 with home field advantage. Um, just a big loss for those teams. They should have gotten out of the round of 16, maybe into the semis, close to the finals. But like I say, for USA, Pochettino, I think he did great. He was a great manager, made a lot of great moves, but I think the team gave up. I think Team USA gave up in that last game. They weren't able to do it. Maybe they were just exhausted. Who knows? But I think they gained a lot of fans early on in the tournament. But all those fans, they lost it because of that last game, how they played against Belgium.
Yep. I completely agree. I feel like that was, yeah, just such a damaging loss. I feel like that really killed the vibe for a lot of people. I think that the coaching was good. You can kind of blame the vibe killer on quite a few things, and I think that red card reversal was a big part of that. I think a lot of the players were kind of expecting that suspension to hold and not being able to kind of
Mm-hmm.
play on with it, and with that kind of um, being overturned, I think it just kind of threw off the game plan and,
Yeah.
and kind of altered a lot of things. I will say that the tournament altogether seemed like it changed a lot when it went from, uh, Mexico losing to England and US to Belgium in that round of 16. The vibe just seemed to change altogether,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of, it felt like a lot of heartbreak, especially with that Mexico loss. Really promising team, a team that was just seemingly so dominant, really
Mm-hmm.
energetic, and the fan atmosphere was phenomenal there in Mexico
Yeah.
City. Um, but hey, it's the World Cup.
Yeah. It's a World Cup. I think Mexico started off the tournament a little sloppy. They weren't playing the best, but towards the end, they played amazing. Um, I think I truly believe both squads have a lot of great young talent. Like I
Mm-hmm.
say, for Team USA, I will say I don't want to see Pulisic at the next one. I don't think this guy
Yeah.
is that Captain America. I like him. He's a great player, but I don't think he is that true leader. We have to find a new true leader. Tyler Adams did more. Um, Malik Tillman did more. Of a leadership type thing. And like I said, there's a lot of young players that I would prefer just to start bringing up and playing on this team, um, and getting them ready for. We might not do well in 30, but 34. Give them to a World Cup experience, and let's make that move. But I don't think Pulisic should be a part of the next one. I think his time is done, especially the excuse he makes. It's sort
Mm-hmm.
of, yeah, you had a little bit of an injury, but some of the players in that final game would have continued to push on, seeing how much further he could get. And then him saying it's like, well, it's time to rest. It's like we talked about it here. He rested the entire Gold Cup. He didn't even play the Gold Cup because he was resting for the World Cup. And it's
Right.
like now an excuse is like, oh, I finally get to rest. It's like you've been resting for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
So it's not the type of excuse I like from that type of leader I'm expecting for the national team.
I agree. Was it Carly Lloyd who went after him?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that went after him, and she
Yeah,
was a
I
big
know
one.
Landon Donovan had some words as well. Carly Lloyd just kind of stood out.
Mhm.
You go, girl.
Yeah,
We're all thinking what you're saying. Like, yeah, you're there at the biggest stage. You're supposed to be,
yeah,
like you said, Captain America, dude.
yeah,
Ice up after,
yeah,
like, dude, get after it. This happens once every 4 years. Power through it.
yeah,
I just think he just needs that. I think he needs that email, John, of
yeah,
you're cut. You're not here. Just send him an email, as they did with everybody else, because he's not cut out for it. He's
mm-mm,
not. Again, he's a good talent. He's not a leader of that team. There's plenty more other people on that roster that
mm-mm,
played way better than him.
yeah,
Um, and even when he was on the pitch, you didn't even know he was there. He didn't play
yeah,
that well at all. So, and then, like you said, the excuses came off the wrong way, dude.
yeah,
Like, just shut it.
yeah,
Nobody wants to hear it. Like, you're disappointing.
yeah,
So yeah, Carly Lloyd. Yeah, happy you said
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, whoever runs publicity and all these interviews and helping these players answer questions, you got to be fired for Team USA. You just make it look worse for the nation and for those
Yeah.
players. And then Mexico, like I say, Mexico has a lot of young talents. I liked what I saw from a lot of these players. I just hope, and it looks like a lot of these young Mexican players are going to go play overseas, and I think it's what they need. I think they have to stop just sticking in Mexico, trying to make it homegrown Mexican talent. Let them get that experience because you saw it. You saw it in this final. Argentina has a lot of great talent. They're South America, but European talent. Everybody on Spain pretty much plays in Europe. They make a difference. They know how to play well, and they have those skills, those tactics, and that mindset to do great. And if Mexico wants to potentially win this World Cup ever, they need to send their players over there to get experience.
Yep. Yep. Need to make it happen. Seems like that might be the way it happens too, right? With um, the younger kiddo that just literally graduated high school
Mm-hmm.
might be heading over to the EPL, maybe.
Liverpool,
Um,
I think, is the rumors.
yep. Develop them over there.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come back, even better than they are now. Like, look
Mm-hmm.
how good Jimenez is. All
Mm-hmm.
you got to do is just go and spend some time on the Wolves, and you're going to come back just a fucking badass. So,
Yeah,
yeah, he's got the heart of a wolf.
yeah.
We know how to train him up pretty good once we get relegated. He's going to help us get back up, and it just creates warriors. So I completely agree, though.
Yeah.
Developmental wise, it's a very important fact. Get them
Mm-hmm.
overseas, unless the MLS can start doing a lot more with
Yeah.
training and the U.S. altogether. It's funny. Ever since you brought up the pay to play in the States, I've heard it so much more on mainstream media. So everybody's listening to what you have to say, John.
I think they are, and like I said, I'm not going to take all full credit. I think it's something many people have discussed
Sure.
before, and I think we see it now. And like, there's some people. I get some of the reasons why. It's like, who's paying for it then if you aren't paying to play? But it's like, it's these clubs are, and
Mm-hmm.
look at what Europe's doing. Europe doesn't have these kids play. When they come up to the academy, and I saw an article or a video, and it's sort of like what the European scouts do when they look at those European clubs and these youngsters at 10, 12 is you don't look at just skills, footwork, how good you could shoot. It's a mindset game. If you don't have the mindset, if you can't be ready to play at that high level, they're not going to pick you, and that's what they look for. And I don't think that's what we look for in the U.S. We look for skills. Oh, you have a great curve to your kick. You're on the team. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, mindset. You need that mindset, and that's why I say Diego Luna. He has that mindset. This guy was a workhorse. Like I said, I'm still disappointed he didn't make it because I think he could have had this spark off the bench that would have changed a lot of momentum for Team USA. But it's like it's that type of mindset. Christian Pulisic, he was he came up through that pay to play system. His parents paid, and one of the things I think Landon Donovan said it. You know, all, for a family to sort of be able to afford it, like I think it's only a small percentage of families that are under 55,000 that they make are on the team. The rest you have to be making over 60K as a family
Mm-hmm.
to even get into the pay to play system. And honestly, there's a lot of people living below that poverty line. And there's a lot of kids that have a lot of great skills, but they just never get the opportunity to build it. So
Yeah.
it's something that I understand someone has to pay for it. But these MLS teams build your academy. Don't have families pay for it. Find those players that have that mindset to be professionals, and pay for it. You don't have to do a bunch of travel ball. Just do it local between the MLS and don't charge kids, like I say, and find that talent because, like I said, it's a tough one, and like I said, I think the pay to play system in all sports just sucks.
Mm-hmm.
AAU, great content doesn't help develop basketball. Go to Europe. Look at what Europeans do. Europeans are dominating NBA right now. Um, Baseball, I'm not going to talk much about baseball because I don't know baseball. I never played it because I do truly
It's
suck at baseball.
more expensive, even
Yeah,
just because the equipment you have to buy. It's
yeah.
it's a fortune.
Like you need to buy like certain bats that you could hit dingers, but it's also like if you just suck, it doesn't matter. You spend 10K on a bat, you're still going to strike out every single
Right.
time. you know.
And
But
then
it's like,
if you
hey,
want to like go to Cooperstown with your
yeah,
little league team, it's going to cost a fortune to go.
yeah. So and it's like, how are some of these, small countries, and you see it. Where are some of the best baseball players coming from? Team USA is great. Don't get me wrong, but the Dominican Republic,
Oh
Cuba,
yeah,
who have like no money, it's like they develop the best players because they just focus on their skills. It's not about all this flash, looking cool. Yeah, I like to look cool when I play my sports, but it's like when it comes down to getting the fundamentals, it's just practicing and repetition, and it needs to change. I think USA, we need to change the pay to play system. There needs to be adjustments. I know you have to pay something, but don't make it where no some families can't even consider it because they can't afford it.
absolutely. The one guy you'll have saying otherwise is Alexi Lalas. He loves the pay to play system, according to him.
Because he gets paid probably. He's
Probably so.
probably part of that team that you give 10K a year for a family that barely makes 50, and they still have to pay rent, food, and he probably gets 2K of
Yeah.
all those families. And it's just like, of course he likes it. His wallet's getting bigger and he's succeeding.
Right.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the banter between Zatlan and him.
The
Zatlan,
best.
he just burned the dude a lot, and I don't know if Alexi Lawless will be part of commentary in the future because I think a lot of people saw just no soccer, but his takes. It's either he's just trying to do outrageous takes to get into the news, but it's like you could do it differently.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Zlatan. It's the way he carries himself, and he tells it how it is to anybody. He doesn't care who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and he's very confident in what he has to say. And
Yeah,
I don't think Lexi Lawless really liked that too much. I think
yeah,
he was in for a rude awakening this go around, and I think it was good though. I think he needed it. Because Zlatan, I think he's going to get a whole lot more opportunities going forward as
yeah,
far as commentary goes, and it's well deserved
yeah.
because he was phenomenal. He was a great watch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, great watch. Um, great. I think it's what made Fox commentary and just news great. After that, I think the big one, Telemundo won. Everybody wanted to watch it on Telemundo. The announcing, like I said, the games, just the excitement. Like when they would score goals, it was just so much more emotional. Um, the one thing I'll say, and I think a lot of us talked about it, Andres Cantor,
Hmm.
the commentator, who he's always had iconic goals. His celebrations are goal, but I don't know why this year it bothered me a lot more. I know he's Argentinian. I know he has this love for Argentina, but if you're gonna do this, you have to be neutral.
Yep.
Like I say, if you're gonna go into something professionally like this, it's like we get signed up by the Lakers and to do commentary, to do podcasting, to do videos. I'm gonna support the Lakers because that's what I'm getting paid for. If I'm part of ESPN, I'm always gonna say neutral, give it how it is for either side. Even though I'm a big Clipper fan, if Clippers suck,
Hmm.
I'm gonna say Clippers suck. If Kawhi sucks, I'm gonna call out Kawhi, and we do it already with
Hmm.
our teams. That's why we might not be invited to a lot of things, but Andres Cantor, how he celebrated goal, talked about Argentina, and even at the end when they were celebrating as a news, and I know he was sad because Argentina lost. He just had the worst look in his face, like a little
Yes.
brat that just got your candy taken away from you. And I'm just like, dude, really?
Yeah. It looked really immature. Like it's like, dude, you experienced the win the last time. You had an
Mhm.
iconic call, crying over the microphone. You got to see Argentina win. And this go around, you make it far, you don't quite come up with it. But like you're there just like hardly smiling, everybody else jumping around, you're just like moping around. Quite frankly, they should have just blurred you out of it because it's like you're all mopey with everybody
Yeah,
else having a great time. Celebrate what the World Cup is, what a great World Cup it was,
mhm.
and go on with it. You have to be neutral.
Yeah,
You can't go into it being favorite, having a favorite because it
Yeah,
comes off in his commentary too. I feel like, and
yeah,
Rob kind of started me on that. And he's like, dude, I can't stand the guy because he always like, Yoda, Yoda, he's crying over Argentina, blah blah blah, and I kind of focused on it a bit more this World Cup,
hmm
and I kind of saw it,
hmm
and you could just tell his reaction to an Argentina goal versus anybody else's,
yeah,
and it's unfortunate, but because he's a great commentator,
yeah,
and he's very enthusiastic about what he does, but it takes away
yeah.
so much.
Yeah, yeah, it takes away a lot. I think Telemundo's going to learn if they bring him back for the next World Cup if he's still around. Um, don't do Argentina games. Just don't put him on Argentina games. It
Yep.
doesn't matter. I know he's probably the best guy to do a final just because he does have an iconic voice. His goals are iconic. But if Argentina's in that final, don't put him in. I would say find someone else. You'll find someone that could do amazing as well and still be great. But don't put him in because there's going to be that bias. We see it in the NFL with you know his name, the chief guy that's always on Patrick Mahomes' dong and shit. That every
Oh yeah,
time,
Collinsworth.
yeah, anytime it's
Here's a
Patrick
guy.
Mahomes, it's like I don't want to see him do Chiefs games because all we
Mahomes
hear
can
is the
throw that.
Chiefs talk, and it's
Yeah.
like you got to keep it neutral. Like, yeah, be a fan, but it's like don't be all up on Patrick Mahomes. You look like a ref,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly. Yeah, no. And that's what always made like Madden so great is that, you could draw all these squiggly lines on the TV screen, but like he doesn't care who he's talking about.
Yeah,
He's always gonna, you
yeah,
know, you have the same commentary for any type of player. But yeah,
yeah,
you listen to Collinsworth or Joe Buck is another one who kind of
yeah. Joe
pisses me
Buck.
off sometimes. He, him and Aikman absolutely crap on the 49ers every single time. It's because the Cowgirls obviously had the rival with the 49ers back in the day. And of course, Joe Buck and Troy are going to team up together a bit. And dude, it's so annoying to listen to. It's just, the time I enjoy them is when I can tell they've been drinking pregame and they get on and, they're on a heater. But anytime there's a Niner game that they're announcing, I will mute it usually.
You're like, let me find it in Brazilian. That's probably a lot
Yeah,
better. Just put some.
totally. Yeah, honestly, yeah, that's a better way to go.
Yeah, so I would say, Telemundo won a lot this year, but Andres Cantor probably a little stain on their win for the tournament.
Hmm.
Fox do better. Hydration break, my quick take on it, bad. Hated it.
Mm.
Made it feel like a basketball game pretty much 4 quarters. Um, and what I hated about Fox, I only saw one game on Fox, and that's when I went out to Cronies. They played it on Fox, and I hated the hydration break because they had commercials in. And for me, it's like FIFA is already making so much damn money from this tournament that like I don't know if you've read it or seen like FIFA what they make, like they make all ticket revenue, all the
Mm.
ticket sales goes to them, all the
Wow.
merch, food sales, everything goes to FIFA. Pretty much all these stadiums front the bill and get nothing back other than just recognition.
Wow.
That's why Chicago wasn't part of it because they're like, we're not going to do that to our city. We're not going to have taxpayers pay for this tournament. Um, and in my head, I was like, FIFA, you're already making billions upon billions. Why do you need commercials during a hydration break?
Right. Yeah. Certainly wasn't geared towards the players because they're used to playing right through it. So
Yeah,
yeah, no, I agree. It was a stupid stoppage. Didn't make a lot of sense. You're guessing like when it's going to be, and then it makes an automatic 4 minutes extra overtime, per half or 3 minutes,
yeah,
whatever it was, and really meaningless, really
yeah.
dumb. Changed the pace. Didn't
Momentum.
like it.
Like if you had the momentum in the game, hydration break just took that away.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it did. Yeah, there's no reason to have that in minus implementing commercials. And
Yeah,
that was the
yeah.
main thing.
And their excuse, like, oh, the heat. Have you seen the videos of these Europeans and I think more British people saying that the U.S. cannot handle a British heat wave?
Oh yeah,
Have you
dude,
seen? And then when I see what their heat wave is of
86. So
86, I'm
yeah,
like, That's nighttime for us, you guys.
Right, dude. Yeah, it's like sundown. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah, we're at the
It's
pools in the dark in that weather. Like
yeah,
that's no heat wave.
outrageous. We're blessed with a day it's 86 in summer. Like
Oh yeah,
that's like yeah, no, and depending on where you live, you might not see under 100
yeah.
for weeks on end. So it's yeah, they have no idea
No.
what they're talking about. And
Yeah.
I remember there was even a video I think where I think a guy from Britain came out and was talking about
Oh, yeah.
like I think he lives in the States now and he's like, dude, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like
Yeah, I saw
the
that one. I
US
think,
heat is different. Yeah.
yeah, he's
I think
like,
you might
these
have sent it to
people
me.
are crazy.
Yes. It's like, yeah, it's nothing in comparison.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what led to my England take of they all look sunburned 2 days in.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
They did. I think they probably felt a lot of that struggle with once they got to the game against Argentina because they beat Norway in the heat. They beat
Hmm.
Mexico in the heat. Like I said, they struggled, and it takes a lot out of you in such a short time.
Yeah.
Like I say, so yeah, I still think it was a factor, Tim, to why they didn't make it to the finals.
Thanks, Sean. I think so too, a little bit. Just,
Yeah,
yeah, crispy air. They don't like it.
yeah, they're not used to it. If they need heat, it's an 86. So I think
That's
that's
right.
why they like playing up 10 in the morning.
Yeah. No, no, exactly right. They headed to north of North UK, so where it's extra chilly.
Yeah,
Up closer to the Arctic, it's about 55. I'm sure up there right now.
yeah,
A little overcast.
yeah.
Living life.
It's hilarious, but
It's different.
let's see what other takes. The other take I have, I wanted to talk about, and like I said, we're not going to get the iShow speed treatment where we could do all this stuff with FIFA. FIFA's probably going to hate us talking about it, but like I said, I never back down out of any takes discussions. Um, FIFA made this freaking tournament way too expensive. I looked up some numbers. So in 2028 at Russia, group games they were about 105 to 210 for
Wow.
all group game matches, and the top final ticket was around $1,100. So that's 2018. 2022 in Qatar, which was a big one, group games between 69 to 220, and the top final ticket was 1,607. Now here in 2026, group games, and it was in a tier system, 140 to 410 initially for group games. And the top final ticket, $10,990. Literally 10 times what those tickets were. So overall, 86% more expensive than 2022, 95% more expensive than 2018. I think it was extremely crazy on how expensive they made the tickets. Like I said, I did go to one game. I did pay that tier one 450, but if you look at my seats, great quality
Hmm.
seats. Not going to
Hmm.
complain about it. But I wasn't able to go to other games because after that tier system, every game went more expensive and more expensive. And I think it was a Spain Belgium game. I think I saw like to get the seat that I pretty much had, it was about like 7K for that game. And that's
Wow.
just ridiculous. I understand you got to make money, but this is a game for the world. And you want everybody that truly loves the sport attending. Yes, it was great to see celebrities, and yeah, the majority of them were in their boxes that they could afford. But like the normal day to day people that love the sport, love these teams, support these squads, that would really have brought a lot more energy to the sidelines, they weren't able to afford it because literally you had to give up a mortgage,
Yeah.
to go to it.
Yeah. Completely agree. That it was way overpriced.
Yeah.
And it prices out the true fans, like you mentioned. And it's something that I brought up with Rob yesterday. Something that crossed my mind was, even at the Argentina Spain match, how many fans in that crowd do we think are just here living in the States, didn't have to pay for, an immense fee of travel, or maybe were locals, or, you know, drove, or you name it, something. And then how many actually flew from Argentina or Spain to go watch that match? I was genuinely curious. I don't know the exact answer to it, but my guess is that there would probably be more locals because of how obscenely expensive. Because if it's expensive here, it's going to be expensive absolutely anywhere. It's just it's an absolute
Yeah,
fortune. It's the what probably the most expensive World Cup of all time, ticket
it
wise.
is. It is.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems by far and away. So basing it off of just any other World Cup, it is the most expensive. So yeah, it's I was genuinely curious to see that. Because I just can only imagine that the air travel, the hotels probably jacked up in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes for all matches. So
Yeah.
crazy. And it's a bummer too, because again, it's just one of those things. It doesn't happen very often. Once
Yeah.
every 4 years is something that, you know, it's once in a lifetime kind of
Mm-hmm.
experience. So
Yeah.
um yeah, and I also think I saw something where uh, I think somebody did the math that it would be cheaper to fly somewhere, go watch the match, and then fly all the way back while staying there a day than it would be just to buy a group stage match
Mm-hmm.
here, and
Yeah.
it just all makes sense. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to see what the next World Cup prices will be, and the
Mm-hmm.
next is what in Portugal.
Portugal, Spain, Morocco, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Argentina.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it should be more affordable because of how the countries are. Like I said, you come to America, we're gonna Americanize it. Yeah,
Yep.
it's the motto I keep on saying. Um, but FIFA knows fans will pay. That's what they learned this year. Fans will pay, people will pay, and they may keep it expensive. We'll
Oh yeah.
see. But I think it's a disappointment of FIFA. Like I said, I was lucky enough to get to it. I keep on mentioning it. If you have the chance to experience it, it is an experience that is worthwhile that you'll never forget. But I also know, some people to pay it. And like I said, I'm even like planning. Like if I want to go to Spain in 4 years, I probably got to save, especially if the tickets are this expensive, close to 30 to 40K just for one person to travel,
Yep.
hotel, food, and game.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you hear about that one guy that I think he was from Britain? He was from England, and he was contemplating going to the World Cup. His family lost contact with him because he lost his phone, and I believe he went to Portugal. It was
Uh,
either Portugal or Spain, where he lost his phone, and he was staying at a hotel and just going to a pub every single day for like a week straight, and his family thought he was missing altogether because he wasn't getting in contact. And I guess some local police officer was like, "Hey, you're like on a missing list. Like you need to get in contact with your family." I don't know how it happened, but I guess he put two and two together and he contacted his family. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't even end up going to the World Cup because I spent too much time thinking about going. It probably because of the prices."
yeah,
And I think he stood overseas and
yeah.
had a vacation elsewhere.
Yeah,
So
which probably was a lot funner. And like I say,
yep.
yeah, he missed out on that experience. England almost make it into the final, but it's like that experience you had in if it's Portugal, wherever, traveling, getting to know the land, getting to know the country, it's probably a lot more enjoyable. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I think that's one of my big things. And then I think last thing, Messi era done. It's a Lamine Yamal era. I think Spain wins it again in 2030.
Yeah, because I just get the feeling that Mbappe's not a winner. That's probably a hot take. Maybe not at this point. I don't even know. But I just don't think he's a winner. He had a hell of a team,
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
like what I see out of Lamine.
yeah. Mbappe had a hell of a team. That team is also older, so I don't know how many of those players will come back next year. They still have a solid squad, though. They had a 2B, a 1A, 1B. That 1B bench team could probably make a good run into the tournament. But what I truly think Spain can maybe be the first back to back because they have a lot of players that are coming back and they have a lot of great young talent. And there's a lot of young talent that they didn't even bring to this World Cup that they're going to be hungry because they know the next World Cup is in Spain. You got to win it on the home turf, and they have the ability to.
Yeah, that's a great point. Home turf, heading into the next one, another key point that Rob brought up was a big thing with like players like as good as Lamine Yamal are. The coach let him play his game.
Mm-hmm.
He gives him the confidence and the freedom of putting shots on goal. If they're not making it, at least you're trying and attempting and attacking. And other coaches might not do that quite as much. So I think Spain's
Mm-hmm.
coach did a phenomenal job at that. I don't know what his coaching contract entails, if he's going to be around longer. I'm sure he is that, especially after this win. Um, but it seems like he did all the right things as far as his young
Yeah.
talent goes. And it certainly seems like a head coach I'd want to stick around.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of talk about Lamine, not a good tournament, didn't play well. You got to look at a lot of factors in my mind. He was injured coming into this tournament, so already not 100%. Um, yeah, he didn't score goals. He didn't do as much as he probably has done in Barcelona or what we all expected. But when he had the ball, attention was on him. These defenders were on him. And it's almost like that Messi effect. When Messi would get the ball, you'd see 3 or 4 defenders going at him. That's what happened with Lamine Yamal. Once he got the ball,
Mm-hmm.
he would get a bunch of people, and what he was still doing to get through and creating shots, creating passes, it's what helped the team. So statistically, not a good tournament, but I think overall, great experience for the young guy. Um, and like I said, he's the future of the squad. There's a lot of great players in Spain. Like I said, a lot of young Spanish players that didn't come onto the squad this year that will come in 4 years. And it's a team I think that could, for sure, has the next window open already. And I think it's probably the favorite.
Yeah, no, completely agree. I think Espana is there, and I think the tournament is favored towards them as they head forward.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see. I Cape Verde though, nasty dark horse team, real good.
Very, very great team. And that's what I like. Cape Verde did well. A lot of these young teams, like I say, New Zealand's on the map right now
See
as
him. Yep.
well. Like I say, it was an amazing tournament, and yeah, like I say, I enjoyed it. There was a lot of great for me. I've enjoyed all the tournaments. I'm a big soccer football fan. Watching this, like I said, Vera getting into it, I'm happy about because I think it's something we've talked about. 4 years. Let's go to Spain. Let's try to get it done. Kiddo will be older too. Maybe he'll be able to sit through the games and join us as well. But and just like I say, travel too.
Mm-hmm.
Spain, Portugal, maybe Morocco. We'll sort of see how it is in 4 years. Um, but but yeah, like I say, great tournament, great experience. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did too. Great, full fledged initiation of really following a World Cup tournament. And I think that this, expansion of the tournament altogether is a phenomenal format. Everything that we saw this go around. So
Mm-hmm.
really excited. 4 years seems like a long time. Hopefully it comes by fast. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's a great tournament though.
yeah, a good tournament. But yeah, those are all like the major takes I have for World Cup ending. Wasn't many comments or other takes people had, but anything from you, Tim? Final takes of this World Cup?
I think that kind of covered it for me.
Yeah.
Um, Enjoyable, fun, met lots of cool people.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for the next one. Excited
Yeah.
for some of these smaller tournaments that will come in between too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be paying attention to those, and I'm also thrilled to see that the EPL starts up next month already too. So,
Yep.
well, lower ranking league next month as well, but we'll
But
work
like I
our way
said,
back
you
up.
got to get out to get back
Yeah,
in. So
get to watch
that's why.
Raul more. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. That's our Wolfpack soccer check-in.